Hi Stampers, it's Linda Schmidt with Stampin' with the Hounds. Today I have a fun kind of background spooky night technique that I wanted to share with you that uses just ink pads and then the blending brushes. So you can make some really fun starry night backgrounds. It doesn't have to be kind of like a fall or Halloween theme. You can do winter, you can do spring, summer, fall. You can do all the seasons. It's just really fun. So we're going to get started, and I'm featuring one of the new sets that is in the 2021 Stampin' Up! Mini catalog. This is called Welcoming Woods. So it has kind of your fall and winter, and then a bunch of just fun sayings, as well as the really pretty kind of birch tree stamp. And we are going to also feature some of our new black glitter paper. And then I also threw in the layering diorama dies. I think when people look at these, they're like, oh, it's only for like fish theme or, you know, the polar bears. But I thought it was kind of fun how you can just still use this kind of odd shaped little image for your sentiment. So that's the smallest of the layering diorama dies. These are, you get 7 dies and they're for $29, and this is in the main catalog. And then for my hill, what I did is I used the little border stamp from the polar bear dies, and this one I just kind of cut out my hill with that kind of line die. And you can use anything, or you could just freehand it as well. So we're going to get started with the background. And so for the background, what you need, I started off with a piece of white cardstock, and I like to use our thick cardstock just because it holds up with the ink that we put on here. And then you want to choose colors that coordinate. So I'm doing Daffodil Delight, Pumpkin Pie, and Gorgeous Grape. Even though my paper is Blackberry Bliss, by the time I got done blending, that purple almost, it looked more like Blackberry Bliss. So that's what kind of happens when you blend. So you kind of want to experiment a little bit when you're doing this. So we're going to start off with the lightest color first. And then I also like to use our silicone mat, just because it grips the paper, and also it helps, this cleans off really well, so your workstation doesn't get all inky on it. So like I said, I'm going to start with the Daffodil Delight. And because I'd been doing this earlier, actually I'm going to use one of my other brushes because I've got some orange on here. So I'm going to start, actually grab the wrong one. Hold on here. Do, just so I don't get my orange on there. So I'm going to start with the yellow. Oh, and before I forget, I did mask that moon. So what I did is I die cut out a circle on some masking paper. So this is like super, super thin, and it has some adhesive on it. It's just like a film. So I'm just going to place that mask where I want my moon to be, so that way the ink isn't going to cover that. So make sure you put your mask down first. And then I'm going to take with the blending brushes, and I'm going to go around my moon. So I'm getting that kind of halo effect. And when you're using the brushes, you want to keep your finger on the brush head. Don't hold it back here. This is going to give you a little bit more support. And then you're just going to be doing this in a circular motion. So I did the yellow, and then I'm just going to kind of fill in a little bit of yellow down here, and then a little down here. Some of this is going to be covered up by the glitter paper, but this is how I kind of got that Blackberry Bliss color from the Gorgeous Grape ink, was this kind of blending with that yellow. Okay, now if you only have a few of the brushes, what I recommend is, so keeping kind of like your yellows and oranges together, clean this off on a dry cloth to get most of the ink off. You can kind of test it. So that looks pretty good. Then you can go ahead and do your next color. But since I have orange already on this one, I'm just going to use my other brush. And you can also kind of test and wipe off some of the excess ink. So I'm now going to go around. So this is still pretty vibrant because I had rinsed these out the other night, and so they're still a little damp. So I'm just going to lightly go around. Fill in with the orange, or the pumpkin pie, I should say. So just in a circular motion. And if you don't have the blending brushes, you can also do this with Stampin' sponges or your sponge daubers, but the brushes really give it a more smoother look. And then I'm going to do Gorgeous Grape. And now I'm going to go back and layer on top of all of my other colors. And this is where that Gorgeous Grape now kind of looks like that Blackberry Bliss color. So I'm just kind of layering over. I kind of want that spooky, kind of eerie fall night, Halloween night look here. And so the more ink you put on, the darker it's going to get. Oops. And then if you don't want your fingers to get inky, you can always take a Post-it note and hold, you know, kind of do that so your fingers don't get inky. I'm going to kind of go around here. Apologize for the vacuuming. It's Sunday, vacuum day. Our oh gosh, this morning it was storming, horrible. I mean, we need the rain so bad, and our dogs are so used to going out right away in the morning to go potty, and of course we took them out and it was a torrential downpour, and they were not happy, so, and scared of the thundering. So we took them back inside, and then of course as we're I'm making my coffee. Our two boys, they decided they couldn't hold it, and so they peed all over their dog bed. So it was like, that's how our morning started off. It was like, ugh, way to start your week. And then I'm kind of going back with the yellow, kind of filling in. And you just kind of keep blending until you get the desired look you want. I'm going to add a little bit more purple here. Go. And then I also added on the very edges, I did some of the black, and this is just going to be real light just around the edges of my cardstock. I don't want to go in too far, but I just wanted it to be a little bit darker on those edges. And then when you get done with your brushes, to clean them, just rinse them out with some cold water and kind of dry them off, and then just let them dry overnight before you use them again. Because if their bristles are still wet, when you go to ink it up, it'll be super, super absorbent. So that's what happened with my orange, because it was still a little damp from when I was stamping yesterday. Okay, so now that that's all inked up, actually I'm going to do one more on my yellow here. Little bit. Got a little too dark for me. Okay. I think that looks good. And then to add my Starry Night, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of our white craft ink refill. I'm going to shake it up. And I'm just going to put a little bit on my surface. This is a glass, kind of like a media mat. You can also use like one of your acrylic blocks. And then take your a water painter, a wet watercolor brush, and you just want some water. And you want to get this ink pretty wet, because now we're going to speckle, basically kind of, before I do this, I better close my ink pad so I don't get white ink splattered all over these. Yeah, so make sure your workstation is cleared off here, because now what we're going to do is we're just going to tap the aqua painter or the watercolor painter, and then you're going to get that speckled or stars from that white craft ink in the water. Okay, and then again, just kind of clean that off. Clean off your workstation. That white craft ink goes everywhere. And then there is our Starry Night. So super fun. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, and then with your silicone mat, it just wipes off clean with just a damp cloth. So these are, oh my gosh, these things are awesome. I have several of them. They're like $6, and it's the best thing to have, and they work really well. Okay, so we're done with that. I'm just gonna make sure that's all dry. Okay, and then what I'll do is I'm going to remove my mask. And so now you've got that white moon against there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to ink up our trees. And I like to use the Stamparatus on this one, just because I want to make sure my trees are always going to be inked up nice and black against this dark, dark background. So I'm going to put this in the Stamparatus. And I've already kind of lined this up to where I wanted it to be. So I'm just going to put my magnets down just to kind of hold the paper in place. Okay. And then we're going to use that Memento Black. And then I'm wondering if I should put my magnet. I'll put one up here just to hold this a little bit better. Make sure that's not going to hit it. Okay. And then we'll just press down. And then lift up. And so I want it to be a little bit darker, so I'm going to re-ink this. And press down. And that looks good. And this little tool, I got it off of Etsy. It helps to, like, it presses, so you're getting that even pressure. He has, I'll put the link down in my description of where to get these, because he has like every color you can think of, and they were pretty inexpensive, and shipping was, worked really great. So I really like them. I can't remember what they're called. Something like a Stamparatus tool or a Misty tool, something. But anyway, I'll put the description of the link to it in the comment or in the description below. Okay, so now this is all stamp. That looks good. I'm just going to clean off my stamp with a damp cloth, and then we'll set this aside, and then we'll just finish our card. So like I said, I've already cut my hill from the black glitter paper. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. So this is a little bit thinner paper. So that's why I made my base long, because I wanted to give it a little bit more support. And I'm going to trim just a titch off of here, because I want my hill to come up so that it's hitting the trees. So I'm just going to take a smidge off here, because I want my hill covering those trees. Okay, good. All right, so then I'm just going to put adhesive on the back of this, and then we'll just put this right flush against the bottom of the paper. That looks good. And then I have some gold foil paper. I just had some scraps laying around. I've been going through my scraps trying to use them up. So this I'm just going to layer on the back. And I'm just going to go down about halfway. And then this then will be layered on top of that. I like to use a lot of adhesive. I don't want my cards falling apart. Okay, and then this will be centered onto the card. And then my saying, I'm going to ink this let's see, which way do I want this going? I want it going this way. So now, since this has turned into more of that Blackberry Bliss, I'm going to do my sentiment in the Blackberry Bliss ink. And so this one is from the Welcoming Woods stamp set. It is, the saying is, every season brings its own wonder. So I'm going to just stamp that. And because this is a photopolymer stamp, I want to use my my foam mat just to kind of give a little bit of cushion to that image, so that my the image turns out crisp. And then what I like to do, and again, this is another great way of using up scraps, is I die cut 2 more of these layering dioramas, and I am just going to layer these behind. And so instead of using dimensionals, I'm using multiple layers of the die to give height to my sentiment or whatever focal point that I want to pop out. And I also find that this kind of holds up a little bit better in the mail. And then, like I said, it's a great way of using up your scraps. So, and then since this is going to be on top of that glitter paper, I'm going to use my multi-purpose liquid glue. I find that this is a little bit sturdier, and especially when you're putting it up against like a textured type of cardstock, it adheres a little bit better than the mono adhesive. And then this is just going to layer onto the front. And then I like to give it just a little bit of pressure, make sure it's adhered. And there you have it. So see, you've got a little bit of depth from those layered pieces of cardstock, and then that pretty speckled thing. And then before I forget, we got to add a little bit of bling. So these are the new Cute Star adhesive sequins that are in the 2021 mini catalog. So I'm just going to add a few of these, and these have the adhesive already on the back, which is kind of nice. And then I'm going to do, I'll do another orange one, and we'll kind of put it there. And then I like to do kind of like making a triangle and using an odd number of your sequins. And there you have it. So there is the kind of Starry Night sponged background featuring the Welcoming Woods stamp set. So I hope you have a great Sunday, and I look forward to stamping with you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.